Good morning, my name is Helen, I'm location leader at Forge Debenham. Welcome again to Think Different Thursday. Think Differently Thursday? Have I said that right? Think Differently Thursday. So great that you've joined us again, and particularly great that I've got Rory with me this morning. Hi Rory.
Nice one. Hi, how you doing?
I'm good, thank you. You look really well. Are you okay?
I'm glowing, I'm recovered, I'm good. Yeah,
Good.
doing well. Doing really well. Yeah.
Good. Now I know who you are, but not everybody that's listening does. So tell us, what is your connection to Suffolk? What's your connection to us at the Forge?
Yeah. So I've grown up in Suffolk for the whole of my life. So all long 22 years of it, and
Oh, you're a little
started going to
baby,
Forge.
22.
Huh?
You're a little
Little
baby,
baby.
22.
You know me, yeah. And I'm about as small as one as well. But yeah, so been going to the Forge since 2012. So it's home for me. So
Great.
yeah.
Now, I know that you're not actually in Suffolk at the moment. The power of Zoom is great. You
Right.
can be talking to anybody anywhere. Where are you?
Yeah, so I'm in Zagreb, so it's the capital of Croatia, and I've been living here for about 12 weeks, so almost 3 months. So
Amazing. Great.
yeah,
So you're going to have to tell us why. What are you doing there?
yeah. So I mean, I ask the question myself sometimes. What the flip am I doing here? No, so I've been out here, yeah, like I said, for a couple months, and I'm serving with the Forge out here, and so with a guy called Ash. Many of you know him, and so we're running camp ministry and stuff for Scripture Union, and then longer term looking to do some church partnering as well. So starting some new churches in the city. So big stuff, crazy stuff, but first off, learn a language. So
Okay,
yeah.
sounds amazing. It sounds busy and it sounds exciting.
Yeah.
So I guess you didn't, like 12 weeks ago, just decide you would go and live in Croatia. What has been your journey to this decision and to be in there right now? What's been happening for you?
Mate, honestly, it was overnight. Like just woke up
Just
and
woke
went
up.
the
I'll go.
flights. Just going, just doing it. Yeah, so it was a bit of a long story for me, but I guess the summary of it would be I was invited to Croatia in 2012, and so with the Forge. So the Forge runs a Holy Club in the summer, in like August time, in a village called Sirac. And that's kind of on the eastern side of Croatia. And so I got invited by Ash and some other people to go along to that trip. And all these years later, basically, I kept on going like each year to these camps. And in I think it was 2017, just really felt called to this nation. And yeah, the rest is kind of history. That's obviously the summarized version, but yeah, it's all as a result of going to one camp back in 2012 with the Forge. So
That's amazing. And that's so exciting for me to hear that. I've been part of the Forge for a long time, and that link with Sirac in Croatia was one of our first partnerships globally. And so to know that, some of that in some ways is still continuing is just great. And that you're out there and you're serving and you're excited about what you're going to be doing. Amazing.
yeah, 100%. Yeah.
So you say that you've been there 12 weeks now. So I guess you've had an interesting start, because that must have been, lockdown must have come quite soon after that. And then you've been proper poorly as well, haven't you? Tell us about your start. All gone to plan?
All gone to plan or to pot. Yeah, it's been, I'd say, completely the opposite of what I would have thought it would have been these first 12 weeks, apart from the arrival. And ironically, even with that, I was expecting something to, like a bag to go missing or like flight to be delayed or anything like that. That was the smoothest, entry into the country ever. So I came out here with Ben Land, who many of you know. Well, Helen, I think, as well. And so he was coming out here to do some kind of filming and stuff for organization. But so we had that smoothest flight, no bags were lost. We arrived here great. And then obviously 2 weeks later, I think it was, at that point, the coronavirus hits. And it causes the country, to be locked down along with everywhere else in the world. And so I'm learning language in a class here at the university, which is like 2 minutes walk from my apartment here. And we had 2 weeks of classes in person. It was going great. And then like on the Friday of the class, finishing of the second week, the teacher was like, great, so now we're going to go online for the rest of the semester, basically, or until this thing changes with coronavirus. And so we're like, okay. And so Monday we launch onto Zoom, and we try and navigate this app that we'd never used, along with people from all these different nations. We got Germans, we got people from Argentina, we got people from Spain, we got just people from all over. So English isn't primary language anyway, and so we're all trying to learn Croatian, getting on this app, and it generally took 40 minutes in the first lesson to actually just like register, just sign into the lesson and say, yes, miss, I'm here, kind of thing. So we were thinking, oh gosh, this is going to be horrendous like for the next few weeks, but it turned out, better with each day, and that's we got used to it. So that was kind of a little bit of it. And then to make matters more interesting, or more like a roller coaster, I'd say, was we then had an earthquake about, I think it must be about 6 weeks ago now. Maybe I might be completely wrong with that. It's kind of weeks have blurred into one, as I'm sure you've seen or noticed as well. And so we had an earthquake here, the biggest they've had in like 100 years.
Wow.
Just obviously in the first few weeks of me arriving. And so, so we're evacuating on the streets, and then we come back in our houses, and then there's an aftershock that was as big as the original earthquake, an hour earlier on that morning, and it just turned freezing outside as well. Like the day before it was warm, and then it just happened to be freezing on the day that the earthquake hits. And then yes, it was aftershocks for that, and just mad. And then I got ill, so like you said, so I got what we think probably is the coronavirus, and was bedbound for like a couple of weeks, which, as you know me, Helen, and many of you know me, I'm not someone who really just kind of sits around and does nothing. I love, being outdoors, being with people, doing stuff, and then just completely just stuck in my bed, like just absolutely drained of energy, and just showing all the symptoms and that. And so yesterday was my first day out. So buzzing to be out after 4 weeks of being indoors.
Oh, you look well. Are you okay now? Completely recovered?
Yeah, completely recovered. Just like, glowing and ready for life. So I went outdoors the first time 4 weeks yesterday, and just went for a run, even went to the shop, and it was exciting to go for food shopping. Like, I would never say that, because I flipping hate it, as we all do basically. But yeah, it was fun.
Oh
to just see
my goodness, what a horrendous start. Now I'm a mum as well. I can't imagine how hard that was for your family, knowing that you'd just arrived somewhere else, and then you'd got that kind of catalogue of disasters. How was your mum?
Yeah, like the earthquake hit, and so I think I texted her and just said, just to let you know, we had an earthquake, and it was 6 a.m. here, so we're an hour ahead of you guys, so it's 5 a.m. there. They were up anyway with the kids, because all the younger siblings being crazy. But I just get this capital like message back to say, what the flip is happening? Like, are you okay? Like, is everyone okay? I reassured her, yeah, we're okay, thankfully. And so that happened, and then a couple of weeks later, hey mum, I've got a virus. It looks like the coronavirus. I hope you're okay. And so but they're doing well. They're doing well as a family, and so they're reassured now that I'm back up and out and looking.
And did you really miss your family during that time when you were ill?
Yeah, I missed just anyone. So, but especially family. They, we phoned a couple times in that. Even though I basically wasn't doing anything, like I just, managed to have the energy to just do that, and call them, and just let them know how I'm doing, and all that stuff. But yeah, it's just, what a mad time.
What a start. I'm so glad that you're doing better and recovered. That's so good. I guess like here, we get different news every day, and the situation changes, and the restrictions. We had big news at the weekend about some changes. How is it there? What is it feeling like? What's it looking like?
Yeah, I mean, Croatian people here have done great, and so we have had basically no cases in Zagreb in the last couple of days.
Okay.
And so that's because of how the government have done stuff, and people have generally followed the regulations, and so all the borders and everything are obviously closed. But I'd say it's been, people weren't ever panicked here, so it wasn't like you went everywhere. And I remember Mum texting me with a photo of like the stores being empty in England, or the shops being empty of like toilet roll, pasta, and all that stuff. And she was like, "Can you get pasta? Can you get toilet rolls?" And I was like, I just sent her a photo of like a full rack, like
Right.
no
Okay.
issues. Like there wasn't a lot of. I think the only thing was, I think maybe flour was one of the only things that was just
Okay.
like sold out everywhere because people just started baking.
Yeah.
All that stuff. So, but kind of relaxed. Okay,
Okay.
the measures are in place. Masks,
Yeah.
all the general stuff that you guys have had. So
Yeah.
we're currently, the regulations are beginning to lift more and more. So things like bars and cafes were opened yesterday, and so that's a massive thing here
Oh,
because everyone loves bars and cafes. And so they were open, and other things. So it's kind of okay now, but people are
okay.
worried because I've seen, like, I went out on the in the streets today, and basically no one I saw was wearing masks, or didn't seem to be too much social distancing anyway. And so we'll see what happens in the
Okay.
next few weeks.
Yeah.
It's the test,
Yeah.
but
Mm.
yeah.
And so, Rory, as a Christian, what is your response to all of this? First of all, to all that stuff that kind of happened as you arrived. Some people would have like felt quite angry about that, and like,
Yeah.
what's going on, and how can this be happening?
Yeah.
And also, just generally to what's going on in the world right now. What's your response to that as a Christian?
Yeah. Big, tough question. I think, all of us who, follow Jesus, and that is a question we have to wrestle with, and a question we have to, come to almost understanding with God, I guess, and just, a peace in many ways with Him, as to, these events that are going on in our world. And I think for me, a lot of questions, and a lot of wrestling with God, especially, the earthquake hits here, I get sick, the country clamps down. I'm like, I just want to be doing stuff, and I want to be with, people. And this was not my plans, God. This was none of our plans. This is, people want to travel, people want to do stuff, their businesses, jobs, school, ending school year, like all over the world, like just everyone's plans have just been flipped
Yeah.
completely up, not just mine,
Mm.
obviously. And so it's a challenge for all of us. I think, my answer, or just where I'm at with it, is just, I know that God is doing something through it, and even if it is confusing, even if it is painful, which it has been for me, and even if it is hard as well, not how I'd want it to be, it's just knowing, okay, God, you are doing something in this, and I have to trust you in that. And that's the hardest bit. That's the hardest bit, knowing that God is doing things, even amidst tragedy, even amidst suffering and hardship, and so
Mm.
trusting God, which is obviously easier said than done, and it can
Yeah.
be, one of the lines we just chuck out, but it's definitely what I've had to do,
Sure.
especially in these last few weeks, clinging to Him even with being sick, clinging to Him even with
Mm.
earthquakes, and
Yeah.
plans been upturned. So
Yeah.
that's a little answer.
Yeah. Great.
So,
Um, just as we close, I know that lots of folk do pray for you, and we're still so connected with you at the Forge.
absolute legend.
And people would just love to pray for you. I know they would. Are there
Yeah.
things that are really specific that we can pray about for you?
Yeah, it sounds hilarious, but sanity. So I was beginning to be just like, what it's like, just when you're indoors for a little bit, like too
Yeah.
much, too many days in a week or something like that. And then this, especially for my personality, I just need to be outside anyway, just doing something active. And so these 4 weeks were just crazy for me, especially my room, as you can see, isn't exactly large, and our apartment isn't either. And so beginning, I'm good now, just having that space outdoors these last 2 days. But I guess that's the aspect, and then the readjustment. So it's almost like I've been in this little bubble these last few weeks, especially the Croatian culture out there, and I've been inside, and so I
Yeah.
haven't been engaging with it or getting used to it, even though I'm living here, because I've been indoors. And so, yeah, just adjusting. You know, it's slightly overwhelming going outside, you know, and no one's speaking your language. And so, yeah, just for that. And the final thing, I guess, would be for language. Yeah, I'm learning, getting there day by day. I've got classes that I do Monday to Friday online, and then some evening and morning classes as well. Yeah, we have a pronunciation class on Tuesday mornings this morning, and it was, well, it's ridiculous and hilarious. We have to do this kind of like mouth exercises and just like and just like making sure we're, you know, the teacher's correcting us and all of our things we're getting wrong, and, you know, so it's just fun. But yeah, so the big thing is language, so I can engage with people here.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. And I'm sure people will do that. They'll be really glad to pray for you. It's really good to talk to you. So good to hear how you're getting on and what you're up to. And I'm sure we'll connect with you again before too long and just like hear your progress and hear how you're getting on with the language, and actually being able to get out there and engage with the community. So thanks, Rory, so much for joining us.
No worries.
See ya.
It's been awesome. Thanks for having me.
Bye.
Yeah.